Well, it's official. Bloomberg has officially suspended his campaign. This will go down in history as one of the most masochistic events ever in American politics. Mike Bloomberg spent nearly $1 billion enriching a bunch of people that were his so called supporters and friends, telling him he could win the election, only to get a few delegates from the American Samoa and make a fool out of himself and have one of the worst debate performances in the history of this country, where he was ridiculed and humiliated by the very party that he was trying to be a champion of. Unbelievable. He should have just kept his money and stayed home, but instead he was convinced by the establishment to run because he was their insurance plan in case they couldn't drag Biden across the finish line. And what's he get for his troubles? He lost a ton of money and he made a fool out of himself. But hey, a bunch of consultants got rich. Now, what I look forward to is the hilarity as many of the same Democrats that warned us of the dangers of Bloomberg trying to use his money to buy the election. Watch how they happily accept his money now to help the DNC buy the election. That's what Bloomberg's campaign really showed, that these Democrats understand the effect that having billions of dollars into an election could have, but they just don't care when it benefits themselves. Remember, in 2016, Hillary outspent Trump nearly 2-1. They keep acting like the Republicans are the party of the rich, but everything shows that the extremely wealthy, the most wealthy in the United States, tend to support the Democrats and pump in tons of money to them. Now we know that, as many of them admitted with Bloomberg, yes, it's terrible to try to buy elections like that, but they're more than happy to do so. So the very people you saw on stage, like Biden or Warren or others that were decrying Mike Bloomberg trying to buy the election with his billions, will be more than happy to take Bloomberg's support now, just to prove that they are the hypocrites we always knew they were. Meanwhile, a good point I saw made in Twitter, which I'll reiterate, is, look, Bloomberg should have saved his billions of dollars and instead just spent $100,000 on Russian trolls posting Pokemon Go ads, right? I mean, the entire DNC intel community and media told us that a couple $100,000 of Russian trolls posting on Facebook and Pokemon Go was enough to steal the 2016 election, despite Hillary's team spending billions upon billions of dollars. So Bloomberg made a mistake. He should have just spent a couple $100,000 on Russian trolls. He could have wrapped this election up. So kudos to Mike Bloomberg. Thanks for making a bunch of people rich that just showed off that they're able to convince a wealthy person that they could bilk him out of his money. Make no mistake, Mike Bloomberg ran because the establishment wanted him to. They didn't know because Biden is so horrible. If they could get a dementia-addled old man across the finish line to beat Bernie Sanders, so they had an insurance policy in Mike Bloomberg. It turned out Bloomberg was even worse than Biden. So back to plan A, backing Biden. What did I say about Chris Matthews the other day? You might think you're in the establishment team. You might think you're cool with the deep state, just like Chris Matthews did, being a faithful propagandist for them for 20 years. But as soon as you're no longer relevant to them, they'll discard you just like an old plate of garbage. That's what Bloomberg's going to go through. Sorry, dude. Maybe you'll learn your lesson. Probably not. But hey, that's life. So I'm not sure that this means that Biden will definitely be the candidate, but he's definitely the plan for now. If he's too dementia-addled, they'll just bring in someone like Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton or someone like that at the last minute. So we'll see what happens. But for today, au revoir, Mike Bloomberg. We hardly knew you. It was a very short-lived campaign.